This enemy, they don't wear a uniform. They're moving fentanyl by the truckload.
I want you to look at the contraband that's in front of me. We have 20 kilograms of fentanyl that's in front of me on this table.
Cartels are now officially in the Pentagon's crosshairs. And it's not just the wall anymore. Trump ordered the kill shot. The days of local drug busts and random motels, they were fun, but that's Breaking Bad stuff.
That's enough to kill 10 million people. The work that we do is to protect people and make sure that we remove these weapons and drugs off of our streets and hold those criminals accountable who would go forward and continue to use that to harm individuals.
96 cartel gunmen, 12 trucks, 3 tons of fentanyl. They thought they could slip undetected into U.S. soil. But within 6 minutes, every vehicle was reduced to burning wreckage. How does a convoy this large vanish into fire and steel without a single American casualty?
We're talking about sending military forces to fight against the drug cartels in Latin America. Do you think it's worth sending our forces, our U.S. forces there to take this on?
Cartels where? And we love this country like they love their countries. We have to protect our country. So, we're playing a tough game.
Central Latin America.
Well, Latin America's got a lot of cartels, and they've got a lot of drugs flowing, so, we want to protect our country. We have to protect our country. We haven't been doing it for 4 years.
This isn't another border skirmish. It's the unveiling of a doctrine built to trap and destroy in record time. Stay with me, because what you're about to see is how AI, drones, and precision missiles turn the desert into a kill box no one escaped from. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
According to the New York Times, behind the scenes, Trump's moving all the pieces into place to pull this off. Mexico's got a big problemo.
Yes, but it has nothing to do with Mexican territory. It has to do with their country.
The CIA is already flying surveillance drones over Mexican territory, gathering intel on the battle space. And Trump's not sending diplomats. He's sending Hegseth, maybe with a new title.
It does not involve our territory.
So it would be within the United States?
Within the United States, exactly.
El Presidente doesn't comprehende. This isn't a Mexican standoff, this is an order.
A convoy of 12 camouflaged trucks pushes across the border, their engines low, their pace deliberate. But the desert ahead is no open ground. Every ridge, every stretch of hard sand has been mapped, coded, and programmed to kill them before they even know they've been spotted. This wasn't just a smuggling run. On board, 96 armed men with rifles, machine guns, and enough ammunition to fight for days. Packed under tarps, tons of fentanyl disguised as medical crates and food supplies, chosen to slip past casual inspection, but intended to see dominance at a point known as Desert 9. Their plan was clear: secure a forward hub, enforce control, and flood routes with endless narcotics.
Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, Department of Defense, Department of War.
Well, that's what it was for many, many years. You gave me that knife hand, Will. We'll see. Stand by. I don't get in front of the commander-in-chief on that.
This is about protecting the homeland from groups like the Sinaloa cartel. They import fentanyl from China and traffic it into the United States. Look at that. Trump designated them terrorists.
But our job is to ensure our enemies know exactly what they will do to them if they threaten us, up to and including total war. So we'll be prepared. Stand by. There might be some news on that.
This wasn't crime. It was a battalion on the move. The trucks rolled without headlights. Engines cut and restarted in shifts to mask sound. GPS jammers reached out in a continuous hum, trying to black out positioning signals. To the cartel, this was silence and invisibility. They believed no counterforce could pierce it. They imagined no human eyes could track them in that black horizon. But at 55,000 feet, a winged shadow already stalked them. The RQ-180 had locked on, treating every heat plume, every dust streak, as clues. Its sensors didn't just watch, they compared patterns against years of recorded incursions. Movement speed, spacing between vehicles, spectrum interference from the jammers. In less than 18 seconds, the system tagged this movement as a paramilitary strike, not simple transit. Classification complete. Target accepted. And then the box closed. A 14-kilometer corridor was drawn digitally, a kill box layered in 4 dimensions: ground, air, timing, and fire. The trucks were not on open ground anymore. They were captured, pinned by coordinates that locked every possible running lane. At the edges of this box, forces lay silent. Reaper drones circling higher than sound, each one with laser-guided bombs hanging below wings. Rocket launchers, HIMARS batteries, sat dug into high ground, tubes masked under camouflage netting. Westward, Apache attack helicopters moved in silence, rotor blades barely above idle, trained to punch through anything breaking formation. You could see it like a hunting trap, claws ready, springs winding, every angle converging. Still the cartel pressed forward, unaware. They thought by denying sight to men, they had denied it to the fight. But this was no duel of eyes. What they faced wasn't a patrol, it was geometry. Angles of fire had already intersected the convoy on maps before the first round left a barrel. They were not marching into an open desert. They were walking into math. At 2 hours, 17 minutes into the mission, the math turned kinetic. A Reaper keyed its mark, targeting the lead 3 trucks. 80 armor-piercing rounds were unleashed in controlled bursts, the steel shredded engines, punctured cabins, and stopped convoy momentum cold. Vehicles erupted, sparks and fragments cutting across the sand. Seconds later, a chorus of HIMARS salvos thundered from the ridges. Lines of rockets smashed into the center of the column, fuel tanks bursting, bodies scattering. In a window of just 31 seconds, 9 trucks lay destroyed, each one consumed by fire that rolled across the desert floor. Flames leapt up around crates and containers, burning away the disguise of aid into bitter chemical smoke. For the survivors still on the move, escape vanished. Apache rotor sounds cut the silence and drones descended in pairs, missiles slicing through the last stragglers. The desert glow became relentless, fireballs, shrapnel, shockwaves, until nothing remained intact. By the time the echoes faded, every vehicle was reduced to cinders. For 6 minutes it had been movement, signals, countermeasures. After that, nothing but silence. 96 fighters erased in less time than it takes to brew coffee. But what the battlefield yielded went beyond ash. Encoded drives, radios charred but not destroyed, fragments tied to distribution nodes. Mapping the remains told more than wreckage, it told the story of intent, networks stretched across borders, staging points meant for future operations. And in those traces lay the warning, this was only one strike in a shadow war still unfolding. This wasn't a skirmish. It was proof the border is no longer a line to cross but a trap engineered to erase surprise. Technology didn't just track, it judged intent, sealed escape, and ended resistance before it had a chance to form. The battlefield has shifted from fences and checkpoints to grids of sensors, drones, and pre-drawn fire corridors. Now the real question is yours. Is this doctrine the only way to fight when crime and war look the same? Comment your view below. And if you want more insights like this, subscribe and join a community studying modern conflict.